Hello, everyone. Is there anyone here who knows about the landmark Ho Guom in Vietnam? I'm sure many of you haven't heard about it, right? Ho Guom, also known as Hoan Kiem Lake, is a famous lake located in the center of Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. Ho Guom holds great cultural and historical significance for the Vietnamese people. According to legend, this is where King Loloi returned the magical sword to the golden turtle god after defeating the Ming invaders in the 15th century. Today, I will tell you the story of Ho Guom. Let's get started. During the time of the Ming invaders, wherever they went, they massacred innocent people and plundered the people's wealth. The lives of the people were extremely miserable and oppressed. Seeing the people suffering, some patriotic individuals gathered together to discuss launching an uprising to resist the Ming's cruelty and tyranny. Among them were the insurgents in the Lam San region. However, the insurgents were just common farmers. Their weapons were rudimentary, and they hadn't yet attracted many followers, so they lacked the strength to fight the invaders. Many times they had risen up, only to be defeated by the Ming forces. Observing their courageous fighting spirit and patriotism, the Dragon King decided to lend them a magical sword to bolster their strength and morale in battle. At that time, in Than Hoa, there was a fisherman who, while fishing in the river, felt his net become very heavy. He thought to himself, "This time I must have caught a lot of fish." However, when he pulled up the net, there wasn't a single fish but an old sword blade. He threw the blade back into the river, but the second time he cast his net, the same sword blade got caught again. This time he threw it even farther away. On the third try, the net still contained the same sword blade. Puzzled, he picked up the old blade and brought it home, leaving it in a corner of the house. This man was named Le Than, a farmer from Than Hoa with a deep love for his country, who had long wanted to join the Lam San insurgents. The Lam San insurgents' forces grew stronger, seeking to recruit talented and patriotic individuals. Le Than, being strong and fervently patriotic, eager to expel the foreign invaders, joined the insurgents. He participated in many important battles and contributed significantly to major victories, earning the trust of Loloi. Once when Loloi led his troops through Than Hoa, he stopped at Le Than's house to rest. Upon entering, Loloi and everyone else noticed the old sword blade in the corner of Le Than's house emitting a brilliant glow. They approached and picked it up, discovering the words Tuan Thien, conforming to heaven's will, engraved on the blade. They were all astonished, but didn't think it was a treasure, assuming it was just an ordinary sword blade. Later, the insurgents organized many battles against the Ming forces. In one unfortunate battle, they were defeated, and Loloi was pursued deep into the forest. While fleeing, he saw something shining on a tree branch. Curious, he climbed the tree and found a hilt adorned with sparkling jewels. Remembering the glowing sword blade at Le Than's house, Loloi took the hilt with him. A few days later, when Loloi met Le Than, he recounted the story of finding the shining sword hilt and asked Le Than to lend him the old sword blade. Unexpectedly, when the blade was fitted into the hilt, they matched perfectly, and the blade became incredibly bright and sharp. Le Than and everyone present knelt at Loloi's feet and said, "This must be a divine sword, granted by the heavens to help our insurgent forces defeat the invaders. Now, we ask our leader to wield this sacred sword to drive the Ming invaders out of our land so that the people may live in peace." Loloi accepted the sword from Le Than, promising to lead the insurgents with all his heart, in accordance with heaven's will. From then on, the insurgent forces were victorious in every battle. Gradually, the Ming forces were weakened, and the insurgents no longer had to hide in the forest, but could confront the enemy directly. The food supplies also became more abundant as they captured provisions from the enemy, boosting the soldiers' morale. Not long after, under Loloi's leadership and with the help of the divine sword, the insurgent forces defeated the Ming army. The enemy fled in fear back to the north, and the people enjoyed peace once again. After expelling the Ming invaders, Loloi ascended to the throne, unifying the country. A year later, while the king and his trusted courtiers were boating on Lake Tavong in front of the capital, The Dragon King sent a golden turtle to retrieve the divine sword. As King Leloy and his courtiers were on the boat in the middle of the lake, a golden turtle suddenly emerged from the clear water and spoke. "Your Majesty, the Dragon King once lent you the divine sword to fight the invaders. Now that the great task is accomplished, please return the sword to him." Upon hearing this, Leloy immediately removed the sword from his side, held it with both hands, and presented it to the golden turtle. The sword unexpectedly flew from the king's hands into the turtle's mouth. The golden turtle took the sword and submerged, disappearing into the lake. Since then, Lake Tavong has been known as Sword Lake or Hoan Kiem Lake. The story ends here. How do you feel about it? Please leave your comments below the video and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to give me more motivation to share more interesting stories. And now, goodbye, and see you in the next video.